Russia is one of the fastest growing export markets for Denmark. Amicable relations between Russia and Denmark are evolving rapidly, just as 500 years ago, and business is acting as the key driver of bilateral relations. Despite the global crisis, trade turnover between Russia and Denmark continues to grow. Denmark has already invested over $2 billion into the Russian economy since 1991. Over 200 major Danish companies have representative offices, and some have established their operations in Russia. Carlsberg is among those at the forefront of Russian-Danish business cooperation today. Carlsberg is the world's fourth largest brewery group with a broad range of beer brands and non-alcoholic drinks sold in more than 150 markets. In 1992, Carlsberg Group purchased a controlling stake of the Russian brewer Baltika. Since 1996, Baltika has become the largest brewer in Russia, and now it is the leading FMCG company in Russia. The results are impressive, meaning, of course, our market performance and economic achievements. Practically, it means access to the best global practices. But in this case, it's a two-way street.
But I still believe, let's say Russia, if I begin with Russia, it is a market. And over time, there'll be ups and downs. But it is a market. It is a place with a lot of opportunity going forward. So one needs to be prepared to take some risk, but then there can also be a big prize and opportunity if one is prepared to take a risk.
In its relations with Russia, Denmark is actively relying on its key competitive advantage, energy-saving innovations. Rockwool Group is a great example. Its products have saved the Russian consumer a great deal of heat.
Rockwool Group. It has 26 factories in 17 countries and sales points in more than 30 countries. In Russia since 70s as supplier of insulation for shipbuilding industry. Rockwool has 4 factories in Russia: Железнодорожный, Vyborg, Troitsk, and under construction in Yelabuga. Rockwool Russia accounts for 10% of group sales.
It's a significantly growing market. As I've said, we now have 4 factories, with the 4th one that we're building, and we account for about 10% of the worldwide business.
You have tremendous lots of new buildings to do, of buildings to refurbish. We think the Russian market is a very high potential.
The Danish investments both goes to Central European countries, some of the newcomers, Poland, Czech Republic, and to Russia, so they don't choose between Russia and the other countries. So our investments are definitely increasing in Russia.
Danish business relies on a customer-focused strategy, enhancing its ability to proactively respond to consumer requirements. The main goal is not just to deliver equipment, but to establish long-term reliable partnership ties. Grundfos, with representative offices in 26 cities throughout Russia, is a great example. Grundfos Group was founded in 1945 in Denmark. It is the world's leading manufacturer of pumping equipment. Total production volume of the group is over 16 million pumps per year. Grundfos equipment is represented in 51 countries of the world. In Russia, Grundfos pumps have been known from 1957. In 2005, the first plant for production of pumping equipment in Istra, the Moscow region, was opened. Total Grundfos investments into the Russian economy by 2011 are more than 100 million euros.
Now we can see that the Russian economy is developing quite fine, and we see wealth being created in Russia, and this is good news for us.
As a result of launching a plant in Russia, Grundfos was able to significantly reduce delivery times as well as customize its pump systems for the local market. Fire system, control cabinet, and sewer station production lines are the case in point. Danish energy-saving experience is truly unique. Denmark's GDP doubled over the last 25 years, whereas energy consumption grew only 5%. This was made possible by the best energy-saving technologies in the world. Danfoss AS is an international group and leader in research, development, and production of mechanical and electronic components and solutions. Net sales in 2010, more than 4 billion euros. Danfoss is a global company with local factories in 25 countries. 2 of them are located in Russia. Danfoss's investments in Russia is about 50 million euros.
Today, Russia is the 6th biggest market for us globally, and growing around 30% right now. It's moving up the list of the most important companies or countries.
Danfoss's many years of experience in Russia make it a desired partner for the most forward-looking Russian developers. Among them, Renova Stroy Group, known for its bold high-tech experiments. Russia and Denmark have piloted a joint project in the Akademicheski district of Yekaterinburg, building the first so-called passive house with energy-saving know-hows from Danfoss. The Akademicheski project covers 9 million square meters of housing. The project offers new architectural and technical solutions. It's an absolutely new city concept, fully compliant with all European environmental standards. When it comes to energy-saving houses, the Danish industry has no equals. A vivid example of this is the Green Lighthouse in Copenhagen, the most energy-efficient building in the world, designed with the participation of Ramboll. The Russian E4 Group and the Danish Ramboll are planning to build an energy-efficient building in the Skolkova Innovation Hub. It is expected to become the Copenhagen Green Lighthouse's full-fledged pier, with an ultra-low energy consumption of 31 kilowatt-hours per square meter, 10 times below Russia's current standards. An equally innovative project for Russia will appear in the city of Narofominsk in the Moscow region. A unique active house has been jointly constructed by the Russian Zagorodny project and the Danish Velux. The Velux Group is the world-leading roof window manufacturer. The Velux Group has manufacturing companies in 11 countries and sales companies. This includes 2 production companies in Russia, wood processing in Arkhangelskaya region, and roof window factory in Yaroslavskaya region.
It's very good. Both Medvedev and Putin has recently been here to Denmark. I had the honor of meeting both of them when they were here, and that's a very good sign of a good cooperation.
Even during the crisis of 2009, the trade turnover between Russia and Denmark saw a milder slowdown than with many European countries, contracting a mere 14%. But Denmark was the first country Russia started to restore export and import relations with after the crisis. This is very emblematic. It shows that we really need each other economically and financially. A Danish investment project in pharmacology vividly shows that even the global reception cannot impede Russian-Danish business cooperation. Novo Nordisk is building an insulin plant in the Kaluga region. Novo Nordisk, a healthcare company founded in 1923, is the world leader in diabetes care. The company markets its products in 179 countries. Novo Nordisk insulin volume market share worldwide is 51%. The company has decided to invest into building a local plant to bring the much-needed medicine to the Russian consumers, allocating over $100 million.
The investment climate at the moment for us is quite favorable in the sense that we have, after a very thorough investigation, site selection, different parts of Russia, identified a very professional region, the Kaluga region.
Transportation is yet another example of successful Danish investments. Møller Maersk is actively investing in the marine transport sector. AP Møller Maersk Group is the biggest company in Denmark. Maersk Line is a container shipping company. The Maersk Line fleet comprises more than 500 vessels and a number of containers corresponding to around 2 million TEU. Maersk Line in Russia, ZAO Maersk, is represented with 5 offices in St. Petersburg, Moscow, Kaliningrad, Novorossiysk, and Vladivostok.
We believe in Russia. We believe of the perspectives of Russia. We believe that Russia holds a strong future. And this is why we will continue to do mutually beneficial investments into Russia.
The modernization of the Pikolova industrial complex is among the most important Russian-Danish projects. The Danish FL Smith, Petersburg Mining Institute, and Fosagro Holding have inked a truly large-scale deal. Russian-Danish investments into the modernization of the Pikolova alumina refinery are estimated at over 300 million euros. FLS Smith are unique in the sense that they are familiar with nepheline processing methods. That was the reason for our choice. We hope that our cooperation will breathe new life into the Pikolova plant. Investments into Danish companies open opportunities for Russian business to gain access to European consumers and technologies. Dan Steel AS is a heavy plates producer, established in 2002 following the bankruptcy of Det Danske Stahlvalsverk AS. In 2005, Dan Steel was purchased by NLMK. Dan Steel produces up to 500,000 tons of heavy plates per year for shipbuilding, wind energy building, construction and machine building needs. The main market is the European Union. NLMK delivers to Dan Steel account for approximately 20% of the Russian export to Denmark. Since 2004, NLMK has invested 77 million euros in Dan Steel, the largest Russian investment in Denmark. Over 100 million euros investments are planned for the next 4 years. Talking about Danish workers, I can always be sure that if things are mapped out and explained well, they will get done. Danish workers are highly disciplined. At the same time, the company needed a driving force, a fresh impetus to say, and that's what the Russian experts were able to bring to the table. Perhaps that's because we've been facing challenges all our lives. The scale of Russian investments into Dan Steel can only be matched by Russian-Danish intergovernmental cooperation in the energy sector, established between two leading players of the market, the Russian Gazprom and the Danish state-owned Dong Energy. Dong Energy, one of the largest energy groups in Northern Europe. Dong Energy accounts for about 60% of Denmark's electricity produced and around 36% of the heat production. In 2006, Dong Energy and Gazprom signed a contract on gas supply to Denmark through the Nord Stream starting from 2011. The contract is for 20 years.
We have been self-supplying and even net exporter of gas for the last 20 years. This will change in the coming years, so gas production will decline in the Danish part of the North Sea, and therefore we are very happy to have this agreement with Gazprom so that we can supply part of our needed gas from Russian suppliers.
The relations between the two countries are gaining momentum. The projects are currently underway, and the scope of bilateral investments are setting the pace for expanding Russian-Danish business relations in the future. Danfoss is planning to build yet another plant in Nizhny Novgorod. Novo Nordisk has launched the construction of an insulin plant in the Kaluga region. Rockwool is building its fourth plant in Yelabuga. Russian investors are keeping pace with their Western colleagues. NLMK is consistently investing into Dan Steel, its Danish subsidiary. And all of this but confirms the well-known fact: Russia and Denmark have always seen each other as long-term and reliable partners.